1. Okay, we are live. All right. Well, hi everybody. Welcome to another edition of the South End of Phoenix. We get together every week to share in so many ways. We share knowledge. We share referrals with each other. It's about connection. It's about who we know that other people won't know. And that's really what it's all about. It's a really caring group that we're involved with various charities in what we do. Like, this is basically the group that we have. Like, there's no real massive profit here. We take all of what we do and we put it right back into the community in some way. We just keep everything going. So it is all about being known and being in that place. And we have a group that does it. So that if you're part of a Phoenix group, you know that they're doing some good stuff behind the scenes. And even as we speak, Bernie is really working hard to make sure we can expand our connections. We're looking at meeting once a month at Hive. There's over 70 businesses within there that we want to see if we can collaborate with them in some way. So he's got some details going and some plans going to try and bring us more connections, which eventually means more business. So we're doing all this behind the scenes, and it's all for a good cause. It's in there. So it's just to give you a little idea of how Phoenix is doing. We have our site. Here's our website. It's pbex.ca or phoenixbusinessexchange.com. And this is really our hub. So when you get a new computer, if you go onto here, this is sort of the hub where you could get connections to Zoom and everything that we connect to. We have 4 main chapters that we have. 3 of them are from 8 to 9, Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And then we have a once-a-month group that we take that time slot where it's somebody can't come in during the morning, but they can do it in the evening, and that's once a month. It's a mastermind group, basically, where we go through the goals. And the goals that I have set from the beginning of the year, because we did it every month, it was always that reminder, oh, yeah, I got it. And it's every month. And Penny Lee is so good at this. We have to give, some of the things that we've done. Some months, we fall short a little bit in that goal for that month, but then we pick it up in the following month. And I'm happy to say that all the goals, by the time we get to the end of the year, out of I think I had about 15 things I wanted. I know everything is insane with me. I had about 15 things I wanted to do and wanted to accomplish. I'm getting 14 things done. There was one that I just didn't have any control over, but we sure came close. But the idea is you're looking at those goals every month, and that's the idea. We want to get our goals, not only business goals, but personal goals too. It's not just about sales. It's not just about how much money we're bringing in. It's about how we are growing personally. Are you taking time off? Are you just working steady all the time? And that's not good either. I mean, there's going to be what they call a law of diminishing returns, which means the more that you work, the less performance you're going to get out of yourself. So we're always trying to promote, just take time off, unhook. There are some cultures that actually take one day off, and that's part of their religion or part of their faith. And they don't do anything. They just basically meet with family, meet with friends. That's the one thing they do. And they are having record sales, these particular people. I have several clients that have this belief, and they've invited me to several of their get-togethers, and it's wonderful. And there's no wonder, because in the time that you have rest, you're going to start thinking of stuff, thinking of things to do when you get back to work. It's not just 7 days a week. So this is what we try and promote and try and get people to adopt. Our East Trade Winds, a couple of announcements with Bernie Fransgrove. He does the Tuesday mornings, 8 to 9. And it's a global thing. I go to that every week, and it's amazing. I have received some business from it, from an international perspective. And every Friday at 1:30, I do my live meditation class, and it's free. It's live. You got that 1:30 to 2:30 time slot. It's a great way to just to unhook, unplug, and just get things going there. We have a sound bath also every month, and in December it's on the 17th. So maybe a couple of week and a half or so from now, and that's a wonderful way to just unplug for that evening. It's a 2 hour basically it's 2 hour meditation program, and come with a question. You'll have an answer by the end. Penny Lee has her dance and is from Nia, and she has her Friends Friday on. It's a get together that happens every month, and it's on the 12th. So bring food and get ready to talk to people. All right, there personally. We our sales are at 185, and for this year so far in referrals. There's a couple there. There's about $2,100 I still have to add to that. We're hoping to get to over 200,000 by the time we get to the end of the year. That was sort of our goal. And we wanted to get to 5 million, and we're pretty close. We're just waiting for Jacqueline to score a huge deal and Eric to sell a house. So it's all good, folks. It's all about whatever we generate in terms of sales or connections with people. We try and measure that so we could move forward and see how those things go. Okay, if you're interested, there's our QR to find out more about Phoenix, more about what we do. We're a great group. We try to help other businesses in doing all of that, and we just do such a great job online. We're really good at that. Our charity is Canada Food Cupboard that we've chosen this year. So it was great. I think we've raised. I have to be corrected here, but I think it's around $8,000 altogether in terms of that particular food cupboard. We'll get some final numbers as we talk to Carol Lee and so on. But yeah, it's been wonderful. I've incorporated that into my own sound baths, and we picked up some food, and we dropped some food off as part of the Phoenix effort. All right, so this is kind of what we do and all of that. So let's get into our education. And Eric, you have something that you could bestow on us there, but.
Sounds good. All right. So a lot of business owners, we're doing our business planning at this point in time. One thing to keep in mind is as entrepreneurs, we tend to work long hours and we tend to just sit there and grind and grind and grind. And then we're like, oh my God, I'm exhausted, or 3 hours just passed, or 4 hours just passed. And you know what? I just feel like I didn't get much done, or I didn't get enough done, or whatever. So there was an interesting story about the Iditarod race, which is anyway, way up north somewhere.
Yeah.
And so it's the dog sleds, and the race was run, and I don't have the statistics. I should have, I didn't prepare enough for this morning, but let's say that the race was taking 30 days to complete. And then there was a dog trainer who all of a sudden was training dogs and then realized, you know what, maybe I can do this race. So what he did is instead of running the dogs constantly, feeding them, giving them a short break, and then running them for hours on end, what he ended up doing is the first day, let's say instead of running his dogs 12 hours, he only ran them 8 hours. And then he fed them and he watered them and he gave them their sleep. And then the next day they did the other 8 hours. So of course he was falling behind everybody. Everybody was like, well, this guy's never going to finish in 30 days. And in the end, he finished in something ridiculous like 20 days. And then they asked him, they said, well, what happened? What did you do? And he said, well, if you run your dogs constantly every single day, they're just going to be exhausted and they're never going to have enough time to recuperate. And if you don't have the time to recuperate, the next day, instead of starting at 100, you're starting at 80% capacity. And then when you run that down even further, you're running down at 70%, 60%. This ended up being a catalyst for a lot of sports people to realize that you needed to rest, and rest was a very significant and important part of the final result of getting a gold or winning an event. So I was listening to a psychologist not too long ago, and they were talking about that, but on the human perspective. And so what he was saying is what you want to be doing is every half hour, put on your alarm, 30 minutes, put on your alarm, and then go do something completely different and something fun for 5 minutes, something you enjoy. Whether it's jumping jacks, whether it's walking around the block, whether it's whatever, do that for half an hour. And then immediately when the 5 minutes is up, go back to work and do another 30 minutes. Do that for 3 or 4 cycles instead of just sitting here and saying, oh, I got to finish this. Oh, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. Everybody always says that in Canada, right? But it's a crock. Like when people say that, they're not really that busy. They're just busy with time. They're not actually being productive. So all that to say is you're allowed to take time. You have to take time. It's been proven that if you take your 5 minutes, you walk away, you come back more clear-headed, you come back with a lot more energy, you come back with a lot more passion or interest, or the biggest thing is clarity. So allow yourself that 5 minutes, no matter what it is that you're doing, because when you come back, you're going to be that much more effective for yourself and for your clients. There you go. That's it.
Right on, Eric. That is so true. Yeah, just to get that rest, and yeah, that probably changes a little bit of the Iditarod thing, because I saw a documentary on that, and there were some people that were running their dog literally 15, 16 hours just going. And it's like, how much can you do that? So you have to train the dogs, and they were sort of playing with the dog's blood and so on, so they could go longer. But that's not really the answer. The answer is rest, and nothing. You can't replace an extra few hours of rest with anything. So yeah, great topic there. Just something before we start. Who's presenting, by the way? Is it you, Eric? Yeah, you are. Okay, that's what I thought. So just before we get into it, something that I know this has been happening for quite some time, but I wanted to mention it on this platform, because I heard it again this morning, that people are saying, when you're in a room and you're talking about various things, lawnmowers, or you're talking about canoes, the next thing you know, within half an hour, you see ads about canoes and lawnmowers. So obviously your phone and other things are picking up all of these conversations and using them to sell you stuff. And of course, this has been happening a lot too with emails. They're scanning emails, and we're hearing that I know Apple is doing it and Google is doing it. They're scanning various emails and all your conversations and so on. But one of the things that was kind of just a little got my eye was the one announcement that I heard this morning. I still have to verify this if it isn't fake, but it seemed like it was bang on. But I will refer to it. But it's a Gmail account, and any Gmail account, apparently from the December 16th on, they're going to be scanning every email, every word, including attachments. So these are pictures. That includes tax forms. If you're sending something to your accountant and you're using a Gmail account, it's scanning all of the attachments. And what's in your tax form? Your SIN number, your income, all these private things that we have. But and I was shown there's a way that we could turn this off. And just for now, for this particular platform, I just wanted to show you. And if there's anything new that will come up on this, Phoenix is always right up on it to make sure that we protect our members. That's the number one thing. And since we're live, hopefully other people will be able to pick this up. So I'm just going to show you real quick some of the things of how you can turn this off if you have a Gmail account. Now, I don't know about Outlook or other ones, but I'll find that out with our IT people. But for the Gmail, I'll show you how that works out. Okay, so this is... I'll just get rid of this so that we don't have that in the way. Okay, so if you go to your Gmail account, okay, the whole idea here is you want to find this particular page, and this is your settings. Okay, so when you press your settings, this is my Gmail account. This is one of them. I have like 3 of them. So this is one of them. I'll be doing this with all of them. So when you get to your settings, what you want to do is you want to scroll down here right down to the bottom. It's where you can barely find it. And what you're looking for is, let's see here. Let's get our things going here. You see, it's almost hidden. What you're looking for is this part right here where it says Google Workspace Smart Feature. Well, I don't know how smart it is, but it is a feature that it is in this part of it right here where it says Smart Features turned on to all the chats and the meet. This you want to turn off. So you want to turn this one off. Okay. That's going to be turned off. All right. And let's go back to our. Want to go back to it? That's one. But there's two more that we have to click on here. That's the first one. We go back to that same, what they call smart feature. Here it is, Google Workspace Smart Feature. Then you get into this Manage Workspace Smart Feature. Okay, and there's two here that you have to take off. You take this one off, and then this one, with all Google products and so on. And this way, because by law they have to put some form of a way that you can turn it off, but they're hiding it. So there you go. That's how I was told to turn that off. So we'll see how that goes. I'll do that to my other Gmail accounts, but just to give you guys a heads up, because we're always sort of very vigilant about protecting our members and other people that are using Gmail. Okay, so there's a quick lesson for you. All right, so let's get right into our education, or we already had education. We had a couple actually. So let's do our introductions. And Q, why don't you start us off? All right.
Thank you,
Let's see
Tony.
how.
Hello, everyone. My name is Q. I'm your intern advisor of the group. People often have those questions in mind. Am I too young? Am I too old to buy life insurance? If you have that question, the answer is no. It is never too early or too late to protect your loved one financially, whether it is your parents, your spouse, your children, or your grandchildren. There's a life insurance option for every stage of life. That being said, I have a Facebook page that I leave on the chat shortly, and on there I have all the insight and information about insurance. So please check it out. Q from World Financial Group provide you with financial peace of mind when you need it most. Thank you.
Thank you, Q. And any BAMs, any referrals?
No ban for this week.
Okay. I see a few people have been talking to you, so that's a good sign. All right, good stuff. And over to Jacqueline.
Well, good morning, snowy day, people. And it's interesting. I look at the snow and I keep thinking, Sam said winter tires. Sam said winter tires. Because that's when I lifted my shoulders. I took them back, released them down. We got snow tires. And November, wow. December is a great time to start thinking not just about snow tires, but thinking about what your 2026 finances could look like. So I have three big questions to ask you, to ask yourself, to help you with your course of direction and help you get set up for your financial goals. And Q just talked about that in the new year. But before I get there, I'm going to ask you a couple things. Have you prioritized your high interest debts? Have you prioritized taking care of those? It's the credit cards. They're really the majority of your high interest debts. Have you thought about automating your savings? I know that comes out of my account. It is my pre-authorized payments back to myself for my savings, so I don't even have to think about it. I remember once upon a time, I think I made, kind of interesting, and this is how far back it goes. I made about $15,000 working full-time for a hotel company, and I made sure that $10 went into my savings every single month. And it changed because I saw the success in it. And understand, next one, forgive yourself for past mistakes. Forgive yourself because it can happen. And there's ways to get back in the right path for better financial habits. And I always ask you, make sure you check your credit score every single year. maybe every single month. Check your credit score, Equifax, TransUnion, check your credit score because you have no idea what's still on it that don't need to be. Now, I said I had 3 questions for you. When was the last time you reviewed all of your bank accounts, all of your credit accounts, all of your loan accounts? When was the last time you did that? Second question, what are you saving for? What are you saving for? For me, my $10 I was saving to buy a house. And I bought that house because it was an automatic opportunity for me to see and be. And then the third question for you is, do your spending habits need an audit or an edit? An audit or an edit? So for me, I suggest for my clients, whether they're doing yoga or doing mortgage opportunities, improving your financial literacy is more informed financial decisions. So when you're looking for strategies for your mortgage money, you always want to contact your mortgage honey.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Any BAMs?
Next week, I get to do that. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's a
Cool.
big bam.
Yay. That's great,
Thank
Jacqueline.
you.
Thank you. And over to Norm. What's shaking there, buddy?
Yeah, Norm Boyer's home maintenance repair. This week, in the last week, I've realized that a lot of the stuff I do is because what I know, not only what I can do. Like I looked at a broken window that the people putting my customer's tank in had broken the window, and I recognized the window. Because I recognized the window, I was able to get the window out and get it repaired. Right. So, and then a friend of mine who worked with us a lot as a helper has moved to Kingston, and there was air coming in through the bottom of the door, and he didn't know how to fix it, although he helped me fix it all the time. So the problem with replacing or weather stripping of the bottom of the door comes one size, 36 inches. But our doors are 32, 34. So the thing is, if it's not a 36 inch, you've got to know how to cut that down to fit a 34 to fit a 32. So I take it for granted what I know, right? You just can't, you got a 34-inch door, you can't go get a 34-inch part. You got to get a 36-inch part because doors are 32, 34, 36. So the manufacturers only make 36. You got to cut the part down. Right? So I took for granted how much I know, right? So that's the biggest thing, that we know things. That's why we get businesses, because we know things that other people don't know. So Boyer's Home Maintenance Repair, we'll upgrade your windows with 366 glass. Now, the 366 glass, I talk about it being more effective than other glasses. So it stops, one of the things it stops black mold from growing, right? People have black mold happening in their house. That's because they got the wrong glass in there. So the moisture accumulates on the window, drips down, produces black mold. So I was talking to a customer about that, and he says, oh yeah, well, I wipe my windows down all the time. But the problem is my friend across the street has a rental, and the tenants do not wipe the windows down when there's all sorts of condensation, which would not be there if there was 366 glass. And he said the house was covered with the windows are covered with black mold. You know, inches and inches of black mold because they don't take the care that a homeowner does. So it's a new market to me that I say to landlords, put high performance glass, because tenants will not wipe the windows down and stop all that condensation running down and starting black mold. So we learn as we go. So I know my windows make the big difference when I switch to 366 glass. So Boyer's Home Maintenance Repair, a honey-do list, we get it done, and we fix your home.
Great. Thanks a lot, Norm. Any BAMs or any referrals?
Well, I spent some time with Steve Breckenmeyer, right? That was the only thing this week.
Okay, cool. And over to Sam.
Thank you, Tony. Good morning, everyone. Sam Sturz, ConnectedCars.ca. Hope you're having a great Thursday so far. Let's see here. First of all, Eric, he mentioned about taking time off to look at different perspective of things. That is exactly what often happens to me when I'm working on a vehicle and things get a little frustrating, having troubles. I take a few minutes, clear my mind, and then I go back at it. And often I come up with an idea that I never would have thought of because I've, working hard and being frustrated, you're not thinking as clearly. So that's one thing that I would agree with Eric. Take that time, look, get a different perspective on things, and boom, you come up with a great idea that will solve that problem. Let's see here. Well, it's almost Christmas time. We're getting close. This what I'm talking about this week is dash cameras. They are a great present. You can give to someone who can protect them in case of an accident. But I want to warn you that they are not made all the same. And running out there and buying a cheap one is often a waste of your money and time. So I want to encourage you to spend some time getting some research or go to someone like me who've been putting in dash cameras for decades now that know a little bit about them. Whether you buy a Blackview or a Viofo or buy a Thinkware, these are some of the names, but there's lots more out there and they're not all built the same. And make sure that the lenses are good for daytime and nighttime, and that you get parking mode, because that's when the car is most vulnerable, when you're not there parked in a parking lot and somebody sideswipes you and takes off on you. Your dash camera will record it if you have parking mode. Let's see here. The rest about what I do. Mine repairs in cars. But let's see. BAMS wise. Terry Fraser was here on Monday, and I'm going to see him later today. We're doing some estate planning with my wife. And Saturday, as Jacqueline mentioned, the Christmas party, I'm going to be there. I'm going to bring Christmas presents for everyone. If you're interested in one of these, they can make my head hot. anyway, if you're interested in a Christmas present of a connected car toque, I'll be bringing them at the Christmas party this Saturday. That's it for me. Sam Sturz, ConnectedCars.ca. Today's mobile electronics without the cost of a new vehicle, and a heck of a lot more.
That's great. Thanks a lot, Sam. When it comes to really advertising out there, you are sure the king. That's for sure. All right. Hi, everybody. Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group, and we started Phoenix because of a vision that I had. I was looking for a group that wasn't so strict. I was with a couple of groups before we started Phoenix, and it was extremely strict. I mean, one of the things that really sort of broke it for me was a good friend of mine. He was a realtor at the time. He was in one of our groups, and he had a heart attack. And one of the rules of that particular group was if you missed 3 meetings, you'd be out. So after his heart attack, he was in hospital with wires and tubes coming out of his body. I visited him once, and when he came home after all that, there was a letter on the door saying that he missed 3 meetings and he's out. And this was the guy that brought in like loads and loads of referrals. Every week he'd always bring, 2, 3, 4 referrals for, somebody would be benefiting. And they let him go. And that was it. I mean, if they're that strict, and I thought this was all about, being connected, business, and so on. And so that was really, they were more focused on the process and the rules rather than taking time to find out why the person missed so many. They didn't care. So that was it for me. So I went to other couple of groups, and anyway, why I'm saying all this is because this was a vision that was given at the very beginning, and that's what I do. I track business processes and so on. When people come in, they want to do something with their business. Spirit usually has something to say about it, so that what is your next step. And the vision of Phoenix came to me, and that's where the logo came from and everything. And I got to the right people, and it was history since then. But if you are, especially at this time of year, it's for everybody. It's not only for business, but not everybody looks at Christmas in the same way. Because it's so close to Christmas, it could be the anniversary date of a loved one that passed away, including a dog. I had one that 6 months ago, where the anniversary of the year when their pet passed away last year, they were again looking at they were down and sort of depressed. They knew the date. My dog passed away as well, but I'm always in connection with it. So it's never a total loss. It's just the physical part that you're missing. Of course, I still miss hugging the little guy, but I'm connected in other ways. And I teach other people how to do that, how to do it with your loved ones. And, if after 14 years you're still reacting and it's still so fresh in your mind and your energy that it happened last week, those are the people that I need to get a hold of. So if you hear of somebody that passed away, like 14, 15 years ago or in that area, and they're still mortified of it. I was at one networking group a while back, and they introduced themselves as, yes, I am the mother of the son that passed away, and the son has been gone for 8 years. And it's like, if you're identifying yourself as that, yeah, we need to talk. Because that energy, it's not only a mindset, but it's in your energy, and you can't move forward. Everything that this person is trying to do, all their goals, it's all going sideways. And this is why you're actually repelling money. You're actually repelling opportunities, because you're holding on to something that wants to work with you, and it doesn't work. It's like hugging a cactus or whatever. But it's the point is that at this time of year, if you know somebody that's going through that, have them call me. We can do a quick reading. And if it's if it just happened, I don't even charge for it. If it's like 30 minutes, most times people just want to chat to that person to see why they left or whatever. And so I don't even charge for that, because it's that kind of thing. If they want to work with something a little deeper, that's a different thing. But I'm here to help. Okay. And I use tuning forks, I use gongs, I use crystal bowls, use different tools that I use to be able to get a person in a place that they can now realize that person is in the light, and they see things ahead of time. I don't know how many times my dad, he passed away in 1980. I don't know how many times my dad would come to me, he says, and I'm riding my motorcycle, he says, slow down, slow. And I don't even know why. And all of a sudden the car just comes in front of me. I would have been there and I would have been sideswiped. So that is a reality, because I'm working with him. It's not something that I'm longing and I'm trying to hold on to it. The spirit has to let that go. You can't be in that grabby energy, because they won't get close to you. It often finds out that when people are so missing the person that they loved that passed, that they don't have any connection to them. They can't feel them. They're not in their dreams anymore. Well, that's why. They have to go back to 6th and 7th dimension where they are. They have to get heavier to come down to us. So it's a completely different way. But once you know some of this stuff, then we can teach you how to be able to work with your loved one to do incredible things, including bringing in a soulmate, or bringing in someone else that is also amazing, because in the end they want you happy, and that's how it goes. Okay, so Tony Jennis from Higher Self, we're here to raise your spirits in that way. So every week we give one of our members more of an opportunity to talk about their industry, to talk about their business, than in just a minute or so. All right. And this week we're featuring Eric Perrin. He's our incredible realtor for this group. He's so connected, and being with the company that he's in, England Volkers, and I've heard some amazing things. When you're with a very high reputable company, you tend to do better anyway. And Eric has chosen this, so good for you, Eric. So take it away, sir.
All right. Good morning, everybody. So I'm with England Volkers, and I'm going to talk about something that is well, near and dear to my heart right now. And I think something that Jacqueline's going to like a lot. So the whole idea is, actually, I'm going to go on a tangent here for a second. RICO, the Real Estate Council of Ontario, the executive just got fired. The entire executive team just got fired. And we're all praising this decision finally. Because what happened is iPro Real Estate, which was in Toronto, the trust account was managed and able to be managed by only one signator. And the signator stole, I don't know, was it $10 million or something like that more? If you look it up, and because there's only one signature on it. And so what happened was Rico said, oh, slap on the wrist, sorry that this happened. And they gave them absolutely, there's no jail time, there's no criminal charges, there's none, didn't do anything. And we as realtors were up in arms saying, you got to be kidding me. Like, this actually makes our industry look even worse than it's already looked upon. Like, our industry is not looked upon as a trusted industry. And that's okay to say. It's just the way it is, right? So anyway, so now there's one person who does not come from real estate whatsoever, who is going to be the regular, well, anyway, looking after Rico. So there you go. So there was a bunch of fraud that happened there. Commissions to realtors, both on the buying and the selling side, were not being paid out. So that was a part of the fraud. So with Engel and Volkers, what I like about it is that it is a major company in Canada. It's not a little shop somewhere with one or two owners. It's not easy to create fraud when you're with major companies. And that leads me to mortgage fraud. So I had a question from an investment advisor at RBC Dominion Securities, and they were talking about mortgage fraud, how it happens. And then I said, okay, well, you know what I'm going to do for, actually, I better not say too much because of fraud, but there was an instance where I talked with a lawyer and they did a title search on this person's home, client's home, who had already paid their mortgage. Their mortgage had been a long time paid off. So in researching title, the title is the owner's name, which is fine, no problem. When you get a mortgage, you end up getting what's called usually a first mortgage. So that's a first position mortgage. You can get a secondary and a third position as well. But when that mortgage is paid off, that financial company still has a lien potentially on your home, still has and is still attached to the title of your home. Because if ever you're in default of your mortgage, they need to have access to be able to take over your home and sell your home in order to get their money back, right? It's pretty simple stuff. However, once you have paid off your mortgage, so for people like Sam and other, I don't know who else on here has got zero mortgage, but I don't know if you do or not, Sam, but it just, what I was saying is a lot of people that are in their retirement, they end up with zero mortgage. And when your last payment for your mortgage occurred, that financial company was supposed to deliver to you a letter saying that you are now paid. Now, what probably 99% of the people don't do is you're supposed to have taken that letter in the past, gone to the city of Ottawa and say, I have a mortgage discharge. And with that, I need you to remove the financial company stated on this letter from title. Nobody does it. So maybe it happened automatically, but if it's not done, guess what? You go to sell your house, which is where I come in. I go and try and sell your house, and I'm like, guess what? You know, you two, you're the owners, you're on title, but guess what? We still have ABC Trust, who still is on title. And if that's not caught fast enough, it can delay the entire process of selling your home. Guess what happens next? If the delay and you cannot deliver that home with free and clear title because you have not removed this financial institution off the books. And imagine this, that financial institution is not in business anymore. Now you got to find out who bought them, who bought them, who bought them, get them to research it all, and then you got to find out and get the discharge. So that can take you 2 days. It could take you 3 months. I've actually gone, anyway, another tangent. You know me, I can talk for a lot. I'll keep it under the 10 minutes. So what happens at this point is that the buyer, if you are delaying the delivery of this home with free and clear title to the buyer, they can say, hey, you know what? You're in breach of contract. You're not delivering your house to me as the buyer on December 15th. You're telling me that I can't get the house till even December 20th. So guess what? I'm walking away from the deal because now maybe home prices in your neighborhood have gone down $50,000 and I can buy the same house for $15,000 less. But because you're the seller, you're in breach. You see how messy this gets? It's crazy. Where I really wanted to go with this conversation is mortgage fraud. So that is just one piece of title. That's why you need a good realtor. It's why you need a good lawyer, and it's why you need a good mortgage representative. So the next thing is mortgage fraud, and I put in some links here for you. And what I'm going to do is I want to share my screen and talk while I'm sharing. I did a chat GPT thing here, and I am going to share this. So hopefully you can see this now, right? You guys can see it? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, you're good? Or is it not big enough? How do you make it bigger? That's sort of crazy, eh?
Yeah, to make it bigger, just press your control button and then move the wheel on your mouse a little to the up
You mean my
position.
trackpad?
Yeah, your
I
track.
got a magic
yeah,
pad. So you know what? Let's go zoom in, right? You want me to
should
zoom
be
in?
able to zoom in there
Is that
by
better?
control. Try again. Keep going. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Is that good?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's
Okay.
good.
So this is really super important. If you have a mortgage, you have a financial institution that is in a first position. And anybody else that will want, anyway, sorry, let's back up here a second. It gets complicated and I don't want to complicate it. And I'm going to try and do this under 5 minutes. So you can have somebody present themselves as you. They create ID, they create whatever. They go to a fraudulent mortgage representative, and then that fraudulent representative who's getting paid under the table ends up getting you a mortgage. But, sorry, not a mortgage, but a home line of equity. So a home line of equity is a HELOC or a home line of equity. So they go to, let's say, I don't know why I'm picking on you today, Sam, but let's say they go and they say, I'm Sam Sturris and I want a home line of equity on my house. So then what happens is through fraud, Sam, although he doesn't own the house, he's fraudulently representing himself as the owner of a house. He gets a home line of equity using the house as the equity and the collateral. He gets himself a $500,000 line of credit, takes the money completely out of this line of credit, and then he goes and he walks away and he goes somewhere else. Then all of a sudden, the loan is obviously in default. No one's paying down the interest. The bank comes knocking on your door saying, hey, you owe money on your loan. And you say, well, whoa, I don't own anything. I'm free and clear. I have no mortgage on my house. But then they show you the paperwork and they say, yeah, but there's a home line of equity that you took out. And you say, no, but that's fraud. But guess what? It doesn't matter if it's fraud or not. Your home is still on record for having a home line of equity, which has not been paid, which is $100,000, $400,000, $500,000. And now the onus is on you to prove that you did not take out this home line of equity. So now you have to hire yourself a lawyer. You have to go out and you have to do everything in the courts to prove that it was not you. And so imagine how long that might take. That might take you a year, 2 years, 4 years to prove. You may spend $50, $60, $100, $150,000 of legal fees. And maybe at that point, you'll be able to prove that it wasn't actually you. And then what happens? So imagine that you now have to pay all of this out of your own pocket. Secondly, if you're in a position where you want to sell your home, this home line of equity, this fraud was taken out 2, 3, 4 years ago. You just never saw it. You never realized it. It never came up. Then all of a sudden, you want to sell your house. Well, guess what? You can't sell your house because you can't sell it free and clear title. So the number one thing you can do is this number one here. I put it on a chat GPT because I think it's easy to see it on here. I was talking with a lawyer yesterday. So if you have paid off your mortgage, or if let's say you've purchased a house in the last probably 10 to 15 years, whenever you purchased a home in the last 10 to 15 years, your lawyer would have said, we suggest that you buy title insurance. I don't think it's talked about enough. This is absolutely your first step. It's an absolute necessity. It's like eating and breathing. If you own a home, you absolutely need to have title insurance. I don't care if it's $400, $800 now, whatever the cost is now, you got to get it. So this is going to be something in 2026 that I'm going to be speaking with all of my clients. Do you have title insurance? Because if you don't, run to your lawyer, your mortgage, your real estate lawyer, and go and get it. Because if you get title insurance, everything I just talked about, all you got to do is go to your title insurance company and say, hey, I'm a victim of fraud. And they will absolutely say, no problem at all. Sam, you're covered. We will take it from here. You do nothing else. Zero. No fees, no lawyers, no anything. The title insurance completely takes care of it all. So absolutely do that. The next thing, monitor your credit report regularly. So recently I went to Equifax and I got a membership for Equifax. It's $35 a month. And it includes myself and one other person. So I've got my girlfriend at Equifax now as well. That's the premium version or whatever it is. You can get 2 people for $35 a month. What it does is it scans your information, your SIN number, your passport number. It scans not only the internet, but it scans the deep dark web. And it will tell you if your email has been seen. It will tell you if your SIN number has been seen. It will tell you if your passport has been seen. It will tell you absolutely all of that stuff. And then what'll happen is when you go on there, hopefully on a monthly basis, you'll be able to see have any credit checks been made in my name? Have any new accounts been opened in my name? Which is awesome. The other thing you can do at Equifax, I don't know how to do it, but this is another thing you can do, is you can completely lock your credit, which I would suggest everybody does. You lock your credit 100% so that they have to reach and contact you before any credit can be given to anybody in your name. The next one is protect your identity, so your passport protected, protect everything you possibly can. RFID. Make sure that your wallet, your passport, your credit cards, they're all behind an RFID wallet, bag, whatever it is, because somebody walking beside you at an airport can literally scan your RFID passport as they're walking past you. So don't think that you're safe and secure. Everything RFID has to be behind an envelope, a wallet, a bag, whatever it is. Protect your mail and your personnel information. That's all pretty standard stuff. But last thing, verify with your lawyer, your realtor, your mortgage broker. Jacqueline is that in this case here. Make sure you reach out to the professionals because I'm with Engel and Volkers. I can't do anything fraudulently because my company would absolutely stop it in its tracks. The money, the deposits that happen in real estate with Engel and Volkers, they go into a trust account. The trust account has multiple signatories to be able to move any of the money out of that account. So go with reputable companies. Go with the top 5 companies that are financial institutions in Canada. I always put my investments and I always put my money in the biggest companies in Canada, because if you do, there are a lot more checks and balances to make sure that you're well protected. So if you have any money whatsoever, I just was reading something here. If you have any questions at all about mortgage fraud, title fraud, any of that stuff, reach out as soon as you possibly can. And if you do not have a mortgage on your home, go to a lawyer, make sure that there's clear title, make sure you get title insurance. And then the third one that I've been told that you can do is you can get your own home line of equity. So imagine you have a home that's worth, let's say, $1 million in today's dollars. You could get yourself a home line of equity for up to 80% of that home if you qualify. So now you have a line of credit that's worth $800,000, but you don't use it at all. If a fraudster comes to your home fraudulently and goes to a financial institution and says, oh, I want to get a home line of equity, guess what? They won't be able to, because there's already a financial institution that has the entire value of the HELOC in their name. So a secondary institution will not be able to register your property with a HELOC because there's no room for that to even happen in the first place. So if that's too complicated, if I haven't explained it properly, make sure to reach out. I'm happy to, talk about it again over coffee or breakfast or lunch or whatever. But it's really super, super, super important that we need to be talking about this, and we need to take care of themselves. Last thing was, my mom was defrauded through text. She sent money to somebody, and it happens so easily. So, you always think it's going to happen to somebody else or some other person's family. Not the case. So that's it. That's it for me. There you go, Sam. Go ahead. You're first.
You're bang on there, Eric. This goes back 2 years ago. Jacqueline helped my wife and I with title insurance after our mortgage was
Awesome.
paid off. And
Good.
she gave me 2 names, and we pursued them. So thank you very much. I didn't know about the last one. I'm just about the last question. If you went and got that HELOC, would you need to pay interest on it if you didn't use it or not?
No. So the simple fact of that, the math of that is that, let's say I always use $1 million just because it's easy math, right? So if you have $1 million and you can qualify for, let's say, 80% of equity of the home, that means that the bank would say, okay, well, you know what? We'll allow you to take $800,000 out as a loan. And we're going to use your house as collateral in case you can't pay that loan back. Great. So you have a home line of equity that's available up to $800,000. It's just like a credit card. You've got a $20,000 limit. You don't use it in a month, your balance is zero. So there's no interest to pay. There's nothing to pay, right? If you have an $800,000 home line of equity available to you, but you don't use it, it's still a balance of zero. So when the balance is zero, there's absolutely no interest to pay on it.
I will
So,
recommend that to some
Eric, does
people I
that
know.
mean when you sell the house, so you have clear title, you can get that off and then it's clear?
100%, right? 100%. Because what you do is the free and clear title is you have your name, your wife's name, spouse's name, and then the next one on that title would be the first mortgage, right? That's why when we say first mortgage, it's who is in line next. So if you have 2 mortgages, one is going to be in a first position in case of you can't pay off. That's a default. And then if you have a second mortgage, they're going to be in a number 2 position. So first always gets paid first. Second gets paid if there's any money left. Right? So the HELOC, what will happen is with your lawyers, you're going to say, yeah, we're going to deliver this free and clear title, which means that any money that's in that HELOC has to be paid off back to zero and then removed from title. And the lawyer
So a quick question: if that line of credit, then, is it possible to get in that? If a scammer can get in that and take that 800,000, like
they absolutely could. Nothing is impossible, right? So we have to make sure we remember that. No, really, anyway. I could go on and on and on about all fraud and all that kind of stuff, but I've researched a hell of a lot of this stuff. But basically, yes, somebody could go in. If you got an email, you click on a link that's fraudulent, they can track every single keystroke on your computer. And they can track every single website you go to with those keystrokes, which means if you're typing in a password, which I don't do anymore, by the way, so if you want to talk about that, I can stay after this call. But what happens is they can track all of your keystrokes, get into that potential bank account, and I know of somebody who this happened to, by the way, years ago, and then they can send money from that account, the home equity line of credit, they can send that money out to somebody else's account if they get into your online banking. Now,
Got it.
keep in mind that's ridiculously rare, like crazy rare. But is it possible? Ultimately, yes, it is possible. So that's why you need to use a different password on every single website.
Right.
It's also why if you can use Face ID or you can use your finger ID with Apple devices to self-populate the password that's been saved in the iCloud, that's the best way of doing your security. If you're typing in your password, remember somebody can be watching you, whether it's through your webcam, through the keystrokes on your keyboard, doesn't matter what it is. When you're at an ATM, when you're using your card and you're using your PIN at a retail place, you better be covering that PIN, because if you're not covering that, there's very good chance that there's a camera at the ATM machine, there's a camera behind you at Loblaws. If you're not covering it, you're basically giving yourself full exposure.
Yeah. Okay.
Norm.
Yeah, Norm.
I had another fraud happen to one of my customers. Father and son. The son was taking care of the father, living in the house, had the same name as the father. The father got dementia. The son went and put $100,000 mortgage on the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had to put the father in the nursing home, and the two sisters says, well, we got to sell the house. And the son said, oh, no, it should be my house because I took care of dad. And then they found out that he had put a mortgage on the house.
Yeah, there you go.
So he went to the bank and said, I want 100,000. My name is Jack Smith. I own the house. He didn't. His father owned the house. He was Jack Smith. They were both Jack Smith.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, and then he stripped the house. That's how we got involved. Took windows out, took doors out. And then and then they couldn't do anything with the house, so we got them windows and doors.
Yeah.
And then I paid off a loan, right? And I paid too much. So this is the check that they gave me for the balance, because I paid too much. The check's for 1 cent. I got a check for 1 cent.
You got a check for 1 cent, but they mailed it, so that's another $1.
A check for 1 cent.
So the other thing I'll
The
finish
government
off
would
with
do
this is that make sure, no matter what, I really, really, really stress this. There is no question that is a stupid question. And I know this gets said all the time. I can't tell you how many times when I was in finance or now being in real estate where people don't ask a question because they think they're stupid. I'll put it as blunt as that. People are like, oh, I'm so stupid. No, you're not. You know, you need the information. And if you don't understand the information, just tell me and I will explain it in a different way. Doesn't mean that you don't understand it. It means maybe I didn't explain it in the way that you needed. So, let's make sure that we get the education out there, because fraud, don't wait to be a victim of fraud. You really got to be on one step ahead of it. So please reach out. If you have anybody that has questions on the real estate side of things, reach out and I'll be more than happy to take the time to explain it, 1, 2 times, 3 times, whatever. If they want to meet face to face, very happy to meet people face to face. You guys know that. So let me know. It's not a sales tactic. It's literally, let's stop as much fraud as we can.
Yeah, no kidding.
So that case that I talked about, wouldn't that have been a problem with the bank? Wouldn't be the bank be at fault?
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. This is you led me to a good one. I was talking with my godfather last night, and he said, "Well, I don't understand. If it's fraud, why would I need to pay? I'm not going to have to pay." And that might be true. Bottom line is, guess what? You still have to hire yourself the lawyer. You still have to take the time to go to court. You still have the time to do the affidavits. You're in charge of all of this process. Get title insurance. You're not in charge of squat. You make the 1-800 number. I'm a victim of fraud. Okay, no problem, Mr. Boyer. We'll take care of it from here. That's the difference with that, right?
And they're the ones that will hire the lawyers and do all that you stuff.
They do it all.
They do it all. Didn't pursue it because they were afraid of the brother.
Well, that's another story altogether.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay,
you go.
Eric,
Title
thank you very much.
And title insurance is not that expensive. I think we paid under $1,000 for it for our house.
Yeah.
So
That's generally what I'm telling. I think like this ChatGPT said 250 to 400. That's what it was, I think 10, 15 years ago. I think it's like closer to
That's for the year?
800.
Is that a
No,
year
no, no.
thing?
That's in total. That's like
Just-
one,
you just-
one
one
time
Oh,
time.
fee.
God, I thought that was a month.
So let's say you purchased it and then you purchase it and you own the home for 20 years. It's still valid. Like it's valid until you sell the
Okay.
house.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. It's
great.
only a one-time deal. There's no yearly
Oh, you can't go
fees or
wrong with
anything like
that then.
that.
Oh my God,
So
that's awesome.
I tell people expect to pay about $1,000. That includes the legal fee as well as the insurance itself.
Okay. You know, Eric, I think what we're going to do is because we're recording this, we're going to put this on our Phoenix site.
Yeah.
This whole presentation, I think people should see it,
100%.
and we should have this. So thank you for that. Your wealth of knowledge is really great, and we're gonna put this out there so other people can see it. And since
Yeah.
you're presenting, it'll give you extra exposure as well. So,
Sounds good.
Good stuff, guys. Okay, all right. So. That's we just past 9 o'clock right now, so thanks a lot, everybody, and those that are coming to the Christmas party on Saturday. Hopefully, we'll see you there, and so we'll have a great time and know that you matter. Okay, so until next week, that's our last week. Actually, next week is our last week we're doing this. We'll be able to close things off for 2020.